instrument rentals, trips to Cadence Music, books, music, all of that. And we, on the stage, we thank you, parents, for everything that you have done. And those that work with your children every day to ensure that they get the best music education that they can have. I would like all of the band directors in the room to stand up, please. These talented students on stage have worked and learned in the last 2 days so much. They have had an incredible time, and like what Mr. Webb said, they have been incredibly well behaved and have just soaked it all in. And that we attribute to our guest clinician. Tonight, Dr. Phil Porter is a very proud Lee County native. He attended Fort Myers Beach Elementary, but the cool thing is, he attended Cypress Lake High School. And he had great stories to the kids. He showed them right where he sat in the band room. And he's coming home, and that's just fantastic. He was also the band director for a little while at North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts. He was the band director for 8 years at North Fort Myers High School.
Woo!
He was director of band, yeah. He was at Mount Dora High School for 4 years, and then he moved to Mount Dora Middle School. And he was the band director there for 12 years, and then moved into an administrative position. But Dr. Porter said something very interesting to me today that kind of struck me. He said, I'm not an administrator who used to be a band director. I'm a band director that just happens to be an administrator. As band directors, we have a passion. And that passion, no matter where you go, does not go away. Dr. Phil Porter, I'd like to introduce him and the 2025 Lee All-County Middle School Band.
be so nervous, and I'd like wonder what am I going to talk about. And then the longer I taught, the longer I talked. And then it started turning into like the Phil Porter comedy hour, to the point that my wife would be like in the audience, like giving me the hey, you need it, like people want to go home. And as you can see already, I've gone off script and we're running behind. So the whole point of that was I do have a script so that I don't ramble and tangent, which unfortunately the kids were exposed to this week. So that was Spirit 44, and let me say it is truly an honor to be here conducting these students. I want to thank Ms. Moffitt, Dr. Tomaszewski for extending this invitation, and all of the band directors making sure that these students were prepared. And I especially want to thank the students for working hard these last couple of days. I challenged them, I pushed them, I made their faces hurt just playing things and doing it again, and mostly they endured all of my terrible dad jokes and terrible band director jokes, so it's like, that's like the worst combination there could possibly be. They just handled my sense of humor with a lot of grace, and I will say that they even challenged me with some of their own humor. They did listen to all my stories. So next, we're going to play Curse of Tut, and this is actually, the students end up liking this piece, but I actually wrote this as an exercise. I took all the things that my 7th grade band, about 5-8 years ago, couldn't do well, and just was like, I'm going to write a song, put all these things in it, and they're going to learn how to do it. And then magically, the kids would like ask, hey, can we play that piece again? Hey, can we play that piece on the end of your concert? The younger band students would ask, hey, when we're in 7th grade, can we play that song? So it sort of became a thing. Hope you enjoy Curse of Tutankhamun. field, practice field, all of it holds so many memories, and I feel fortunate that I get to make another one here this weekend. This stage I performed on as a middle schooler. I performed on this stage as a high schooler. I performed on this stage in an honor band. I performed on this stage in my rock band in high school. Pretty cool, I have long hair. I brought a band to this stage for MPA when I was at North, and now I get to conduct an honor band on this stage. And not only does the stage have memories, but there are some bleachers behind this auditorium. And, well, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't like caught doing anything. But those bleachers behind the auditorium, that is where I met my wife. Here in the audience. Very convenient to stand. So, we just celebrated 2 weeks ago our 24th wedding anniversary. I know, clap for her, folks. She is really patient. She's put up with a lot. So, I think it's safe to say that being married to a band director is not easy, because band directors are not home a lot. We're at football games, we're at competitions, doing all those things. So, Aaron, thank you. Next, we are going to play Gadget. This is a fun piece. It's supposed to sound very mechanical. There's a lot of moving pieces and parts. So, hope you enjoy Gadget. This Cypress Lake band, and really band in general, is a family affair in our house. So I brought like the band composite from my senior year of high school. And I know there's people in the audience on here. So I'm up here, my wife is here, my cousin is here, my sister is in the audience, Sandy, sorry, she's here, my sister, and her husband is over here. So I know, like, I'm not making that up. And we only realized that maybe like 2 Christmases ago. We were like, oh my God, I think we're all in that same composite that one year. We went and found it, and yeah, there we are. And if you think you're on here, I'm gonna leave this up. Like after we're done, you can come take a look if you want. Not only is it a family affair in this generation, but one of the reasons I waited before moving into admin was I just wanted to be my own kid's band teacher. So my daughter Molly, I saw her through all 3 years. My son Mason, I only was able to start him in 6th grade. But they're in band. My daughter Molly, where are you, Molly? See you. She is an oboe player and the drum major of the outdoor high school band. Molly. And Mason. Yeah. And my son Mason, he is a trombone player and this year 8th grader, and he this year he was in the All-State Honor Band. The next piece we're going to play is Heartland. This is, I kind of started getting a little weepy on these students this afternoon, because I explained to them why I picked this. And it was between this and one other piece. But I grew up on Fort Myers Beach, and it's difficult to know that the place you grew up essentially no longer exists, at least in that version. And some of the greatest advice I ever received was actually from Mr. Ballard. I said, this was shortly after Ian. I asked, hey, should I go down there and check it out? He said, no. You need to remember it the way it was, not the way it is now. And he said that if I went down and saw what had happened, it would forever change the way I experienced those memories of how it was when I was a kid, riding my bike around without any sunscreen on, swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, like, hey, how far out can I swim today? Like, we were, dumb Generation X beach kids. So this piece is called Heartland, and it doesn't matter whether you're from the Midwest, the Northeast, Southwest, Southeast, Fort Myers Beach. This is a song that's supposed to evoke that feeling of home. So that's why I picked it. Hope you enjoyed it. Heartland. Gabriella from Mariner Middle School. Gabriella. Yeah, the first time we played through that, she started playing. I think I said out loud, oh God. Her tone quality, I mean, I was really blown away. That's when I think I knew at that moment, I'm like, oh, this is going to be an awesome weekend. So I'm also going to shout out all those moms and dads. You all are driving kids to practices. You're helping with fundraisers. I feel like sending apology letters to all the band parents I had over the years. Like, I'm so sorry that I made you go sell a $28 cheesecake. I mean, I would have to like be pretty good for $28, but fundraisers, chaperoning events, band does not happen without parents being involved. My mom and dad are here tonight, so you guys are like, this guy talks more than the band. Like, I get it, I understand, right? But my like one chance around, that's it. So it's my mom's birthday. I swear I'm not making that up for real. They have always encouraged my love for band and music. They were not band people themselves. It didn't matter. Like, they were interested in whatever I was interested in, or whatever my sister or brother, any of us were interested in. And I feel very fortunate to be their son, mom and dad. Thank you. But before we clap, I also want to apologize because I didn't tell this story to the students, but Mr. Dahlberg, last night after the rehearsal, he reminded me that on a band trip, my senior year of high school, I allegedly may have started a hotel fire. There's no video footage, but in my mind, there's video footage, and that is of my poor dad, a chaperone, down a few flights of stairs, putting out a fire on the ground, looking up, and recognizing me poking my head out the window. So, Dad, I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's been like 35 years or something, but whatever, so we can talk after the concert. We'll talk it out, we'll hug it out. So, after that kind of more sensitive and emotional piece, Heartland, we're going to change it up. We're going to play Ghosts in the Graveyard. This is just kind of a fun novelty piece. Kind of sounds sort of like Beetlejuice goes to the Haunted Mansion or something like that. So Ghosts in the Graveyard.
My name is Mark Dahlberg, and I've been teaching in this county for 34 years. And 34 years ago, I was on this stage as my first year as a band director. And this little kid was my student, and he was in 10th grade. So the past couple days, watching, it's gonna be cool watching Dr. Porter. That's kind of funny. But Dr. Porter, watching him entertain the students, educate the students, and I guess mostly make amazing connections and music with the students has been like one of the coolest moments in my career, just watching this happen. So it is an honor to present him without any notice, thank you. This certificate of recognition to presented to Dr. Phil Porter for outstanding direction at the Lee County Schools for middle school concert band. So we do appreciate you being here, and I'm in awe. We've been awesome, we've made awesome friendships over the years. And we have called each other and picked each other's brains. I went to middle school and called him up and said, "Oh my God, God help me, what did I do?" And he said, "Run." But this has been awesome. So it's very cool seeing this little kid on stage once again at home of the Panthers.
So again, this is an unusual situation and a special one. I've conducted other honor bands, and it's always like a great thing to go do that, working with great kids, but this was something different, something special to be here at home. And it has presented an opportunity for me to say thank you to Mr. Dahlberg. So we have one more song to play, and I know this has been a lot of me talking, but I'm the clinician, I'm the doctor. Yeah, pretty much. So, we had some soloists. I do want to point you out. Clarinet solo, Abilene Rios. Our screamer was Emily from Dunbar. So, Mr. Dahlberg, how do you say thank you to someone who has given you so much? Nearly every good thing in my life can be traced back to this man. My wife, kids, my career. He is a teacher, he is a mentor, he is a coach, he is a cheerleader, a role model. He's all of those things and more. And not just to me, but countless others. Some of you are in this audience right now. That legacy continues because he has former students in classrooms and band rooms all around the country. I also want to thank Mrs. Dahlberg for putting up with all of us band kids. Sharing him with us. So, Mrs. Dahlberg, wherever you are, thank you. In college, I was having a rough semester. I think it was probably the second half of my freshman year. I don't remember exactly. But I came home to visit and I stopped by Mr. Dahlberg's office. He was still here at Cypress. We got to talking and I asked him, is it worth it? he paused and just simply said, "Yes, it is." So I got back to work, never looked back, and his impact on me is immeasurable. Mr. Dahlberg, and yes, that is what Aaron and I refer to you even to this day in front of her. When we talk about band, it is never, I know his first name is Mark in here, but I could never call him that. He will always be Mr. Dahlberg to me and to Aaron. This song is for you. Call of the Calusa, which I wrote. It actually started out as a completely different piece and then turned into this. So, Call of the Calusa, dedicated to Mr. Mark Dahlberg in honor of his more than 30 years of service to the students and families in Southwest Florida. I had all of the students in the band sign this score. This is going to be your copy. The band directors also signed somewhere. And this is my best way I can say thank you. So, like, here I am, and I'm trying to write this piece to honor my band director, and still, I'm learning from him because in order to write this song, I had to research about the Calusa Indians, right? And I wanted to write something that wasn't cheap and trite and overdone. So I researched what was left of their music, and unfortunately, there is one remaining song. It's called the Calusa Corn Dance. You can look it up, and bits and pieces of it are in this. But when I started researching this, I found out that the remnants of the Calusa tribe were absorbed by the Seminole Indians, and Mr. Dahlberg being a Florida State grad, it like all started making sense for me. And, like the song, I wrote the song in like a day, just like all like came out and it happened. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoy